mirrors Katyn as well, because you had the cream of Poland's intelligentsia suddenly eliminated by the NKVD, and and suddenly now we have the sort of cream of Polish politics and banking. The same thing sort of happens. Now I'm not playing. The thing is, I don't really want to do is start placing blame on people and saying it was this people, this people, it was them. For now, we're just looking at the sort of different inconsistencies surrounding this. So, and also, you had the last president in exile, Ryszard Kaczynski, who was on there as well. So in a way, it almost seems like if this was foul play, it means that somebody's basically what's that phrase where you're taking care of loose ends, right?
And who would have had reason to be not happy, let's say, with the Polish president?
Well, yeah, we can look at. We can look at the sort of the enclaves of the financial and social sectors. If we look at Poland financially, Poland was the only country that didn't really experience a recession. And recently, Poland didn't need an IMF credit line. Now, for anyone that doesn't know who the IMF are, the IMF stands for the International Monetary Fund, who basically, lend countries credit and then expect those loans to be paid back with high interest.
They're like international loan sharks.
Yeah, basically, yeah. Okay, yeah. So suddenly Poland didn't need, IMF support, and they actually, and then they actually told the IMF that we could lend you money. So, maybe somebody didn't like that. I'm not saying it was. I'm just saying, you've got to look at you've got to look at all aspects of this. So, also the decision to devalue the zloty without the permission of the EU. So basically, the president and his staff weren't really playing ball with the bureaucrats. And, we have a few accounts of in the newspapers saying, how he was opposed to, sort of totalitarianism and believed in, Polish sovereignty. And then, sort of upsetting other people, perhaps, because he didn't accept the swine flu and such. And also now, we have Andrzej Olechowski, who's entered the presidential race, and, he's a member of the Council on Foreign Relations, Trilateral Commission, and, he's got, his fingers into the World Bank and Goldman Sachs and all sorts of other.
So is that who's lined up to be the replacement?
Yeah, perhaps, but the only thing we can really see is watch and see what happens in that sort of particular arena, right? Well,
that fact alone scares me.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, but then on top of that, also we have a representative of Chatham House, James Scher, who's the head of the Russia and Eurasia program at Chatham House. Now, Chatham House is another name for the Royal Institute of the International Affairs, which is basically the sister organisation of the CFR. So all these sorts of organisations like the CFR and Trilateral Organisation and even Bilderberg are really sort of roundtable groups, steering committee groups who are given policy which they carry out, and they're sort of like the gophers. I mean, people think that they the power stops with them, but it doesn't. They're just the people that push through the policies given to them.
Well, there you go, folks. The joys of live radio. I think we've lost Tommy. I'll go to a track and we'll hopefully reconnect with Tommy.
September 11 Blues come down.
September 11th Blues, and Lee especially liking that on MSN, and quite a deep track. I'm a big fan of that myself. Alright then, we're reconnected with Tommy. Tommy, welcome back.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
The demons in the phone system.
Yeah, indeed, yeah.
Never happened before, I might add.
Really? Oh.
So there you go. Maybe we were touching treading toes there. But let's just get straight back into where we left off. Royal Institute of International Affairs, Chatham House. You continue, sir.
Yes, thank you. So yeah, we have James Scher coming out from the RRIA, and for people just so the IRRA is basically the arm of the CFR Trilateral Commission. These are all sort of quasi semi-secret organisations which. You have the Chatham House rule, where basically anything that is said in any meeting cannot be disclosed, and the members of that meeting cannot be disclosed either. So it's basically secret and none of your business. So we have this guy coming out basically saying that everyone should refrain from comment until the conclusion of a joint investigations are published. And then in the next sentence, he tells people that Poles need to be told by their authorities that there is not the least conceivable possibility of foul play here. This has been a dreadful tragedy and we must move on. So, okay, so firstly he says, we shouldn't, refrain from comment and conclusion, and then he tells you in the next sentence that this is what we want you to believe. So all very sort of, suspect. And plus the fact that, you have pilot error suspected coming up on the screen, and again, it's inconceivable that a pilot who is, carrying the president of Poland, is some two-pence sort of amateur, It
would have been Poland's top pilot, I imagine.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, sure. So all very, dubious, So, and all, of course, and then we have, again, just the sort of, those organisations which penetrate into the sort of the heart of the financial and social enclaves. So.
And there definitely were some people that would have had some reason to they would benefit from exposing. I don't know if that's the right word, but getting rid of the Polish president to replace him with some sort of a puppet, someone that will play ball with the Eurocrats, someone that will maybe take an IMF loan, and someone that will. Maybe get more work closer with the EU, especially in relation to the currency, because Poland's not on the euro yet, are they?
No, they're still using their zloty. So this is what I mean. We've got to sort of keep our eyes open and see exactly what, how this all develops. So yeah, very important.
And Kaczynski was, would you say he was quite a nationalist in that he would defend the sovereignty of Poland?
Well, you see, I don't know much about President Kaczynski. I didn't really follow sort of Polish politics. So, I follow what goes on in the world, but, this is the first time I really started looking at how their political structure works. And, the thing is, there are different mixed opinions. Some people say that he was a great president and, he believed in sort of freeing his country from totalitarian sort of control. And then other people are saying he's a complete idiot and this and that. But I think that's more due to the fact of media manipulation, of using the story where the president tried to force a pilot to land at Tbilisi airports when he went to help Georgian President Mikhail Saakashvili, and that was perhaps being used against him. So again, mixed feelings, but the way I see it, he looks like he looks like a good guy. I've seen many pictures of him standing next to his wife and stuff, and it looks like they had a really good relationship, and and mostly people are saying that he was a good guy. So, and anyone's good if they sort of resist totalitarian control, right?
Indeed,
that goes totally against the individual and standing up for who you are, for the true aspect of who you are. So.
You can add his name to the list of people that kind of stood up against the powers that be and paid the ultimate price, perhaps. We've got to say hello to Mark on Skype, and he says that no longer needing an IMF loan is a big one. If you can, tell Tommy that he has a lot of people who understand the RIAA, CFR, IMF, Bilderberg issue. He's not alone.